Hello everyone and welcome to Ulduar Boss Guide series. Flame Leviathan is first in line, so let's get to it. Just as you enter Ulduar, you will be met with two options. Talk to Bran Bronzebeard if you want to start the encounter on normal mode, or to Lore Keeper of Norgannon if you want to jump straight into the hard mode. No matter which option you take, you will have to deal with trash using your siege vehicles. Generally, the trash mobs should be quite easy. Just make sure to destroy any pillars that are in your path. Make sure to move through the middle to avoid unnecessary additional trash pools. Once you reach the end, you will be met with two blue giants. After they're killed, Flame Leviathan should burst through the gates. You can avoid pulling him early by kiting the blue giants backwards. This fight is extremely easy on normal mode as long as you do following things. Prepare barrels of pyrite by shooting them down, spreading the demolishers before pulling the boss, and keeping the stacks of pyrite on 10 as long as possible. If you just want to clear this boss in normal mode, it's best not to overthink it, cause it can get quite complicated. Main thing to remember is that your demolishers are the hard carries of this fight. Demolisher driver and gunner need to make sure to stay away from the boss at all times and supply the demolisher with pyrite energy by picking up the pyrite barrels from the floor. If you've quickly stacked pyrite to 10 and continued smashing number 2 on your keyboard to hurl the barrels, the boss will melt extremely fast. It is very important for demolishers to never run out of energy, or that the debuff on the boss never drops off. Siege engine gunners can also assist with shooting down the pyrite barrels from the air. Having a lot of pyrite barrels on the ground is going to make this fight almost a joke, so be sure to play around it. Siege engine drivers should use electroshock to interrupt flame vents. It's AoE fire damage that lasts for 10 seconds. Interrupting it early will greatly reduce incoming damage. Remember that one vehicle will always be targeted and chased down by the boss, so if you're a siege engine or a demolisher driver, be on the lookout because you will have to drive away from the boss. If Flame Leviathan catches you, get ready for tons of damage. And now, onto the hard mode. Compared to normal mode, you will have to take more care of your positioning and dodge mechanics. White beams are static and will do extra lightning damage to nearby targets. Blue beams will follow random players and freeze them after contact. Freeze effect can be broken by doing fire damage. Fire orbs will spawn patches of flame in a line that will do massive damage if you stand in them. Green beams will spawn 2 sets of adds every wave, one big chunky lasher and a couple of small ones. You will also have to throw raid members onto the boss to kill defense turrets. After all turrets are destroyed, Flame Leviathan will go into 8-second shutdown, during which he will be stunned and take 50% more damage. His gather speed buff will also reset, which is quite important since kiting him will be much easier if his movement speed is lower. Note that on 10 men there will be only 2 turrets to kill, so sending 2 DPS will suffice. On 25 man, you will want to send 3 DPS and a healer, or 4 DPS out of which 1 or more are hybrids to ensure you have some form of healing while doing damage. If your DPS is exceptional, they could also be healed by bikers using their first aid kit ability. Typically, 1 or 2 bikes end up not being used, but rather extra raid member gets loaded into the catapult onto the demolisher and launched into the boss. That way you will have DPS assigned onto the boss and giving more assistance to demolishers by having an additional gunner. Also, the said gunner can deal effective damage to lasher adds that will spawn throughout the encounter. If there are only 2 raid members in a demolisher and one of them is getting launched, you will want to load up the demolisher with pyrite before getting launched. Also, the driver will have to be conservative with pyrite usage until their gunner comes back. Pyrite debuff lasts for 10 seconds, so refreshing the debuff every 9 seconds will be optimal. Spamming the number 2 button might be a risky move, which usually ends up with the debuff being dropped due to lack of pyrite energy, which is almost always a DPS net loss. This fight can be quite hectic on hard mode. Don't let the panic enter your comms. Keep communication simple and on to the point. Also, something to remember is that item level of your gear dictates the amount of extra stats your vehicles will have. Equipping highest item level gear to boost your gear score will make this fight so much easier. If you have problems with this hard mode early into the tier, you can always come back later once you get more item level from the raid. I wish you good luck with this boss. It's a tricky one since you don't get to play your character. Additionally, I'd like to thank White Wolf for sharing his footage and point of view. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more Wrath content. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. And on that note, roll the outro.